KoalaSubbies! It's Marta Monday. The more awareness you create, insert whatever false belief you have. Amazon haul. Just kidding, we're actually doing a new series. Filming my first real sit-down video. I have filmed a sit-down video before, the 10 facts about me. However, that was just kind of superficial. You guys don't really know me yet. And since I'm new to the YouTube space, I wanted to, kind of get in my niche. A little bit about me is I come from a psychology background. My bachelor's degree is in psychology, and I'm currently working on my master's degree, also in the psychology field, and more specifically, it's called industrial organizational. I'm currently getting my master's degree in industrial organizational psychology. While I really enjoy putting vlogs out there and content like that, I was thinking about the value that I can add to this space, and what I want to do is start this new series called Marta Mondays, because my name is Marta and I want to be consistent here on YouTube. I know that's very important for growth and for KoalaSubbies to keep coming back. So since my background is in psychology, I wanted to start my first Marta Mondays on the topic of how to overcome false or limiting beliefs. YouTube and content creation, it's a big passion of mine. I really enjoy the editing process. I need to become more comfortable in front of the camera. You can see I'm playing with myself. I'm a little nervous. So the only way to get better is to, put myself out there. This video is going to be about overcoming false and limiting beliefs. You may see me looking down here a little bit because I printed some notes. This is very free flow, but I wanted to keep myself a bit organized, so I have my notes here. And so what are limiting and false beliefs? As the name suggests, they are beliefs that we hold about ourselves that are not true, and they are limiting us from living our life to our fullest potential. You may have heard the term highest self, your best self, and I'm really glad that this is trending because life is really short and we are here, all of us with special gifts and talents that we are meant to share with the world. And how unfortunate that some of us feel that we can't achieve our fullest potential, and perhaps it is because of some false limiting belief that we're holding on to, and maybe not even so much for sharing gifts, but for living our best life. That's the example I'm going to give from a limiting belief that I had myself, which was holding me back. So this Marta Mondays, hashtag Marta Mondays, fun fact, I have the sun on my face. But fun fact, I'm from Poland, and the hashtag is actually called drabinka, which means little ladder. So that's a cute little fact. Poland. And also the ad symbol, like email, is małpka, which means little monkey. So fun Polish facts for you. But anyways, back to the topic and what we're going to talk about. So, if you've overcome some false or negative belief in your life, please comment in the comment section. I think that it's inspiring to hear other people's stories, and I've been inspired by others. So, to break down limiting beliefs, the thing about them is that about 90% of our actions stem from our subconscious. So we're not even aware most of the time of these actions or thoughts. So it's very important to start thinking and maybe catching yourself doing things that maybe become patterns and lead you down a path that may not be benefiting you. And they are not serving us. These false beliefs are untrue and limiting, as the name suggests. And I will share actually my personal limiting belief, which affected me for a really long time in life. I will share my story. Currently, I'm reading the book You Are a Badass at Making Money by Miss Sincero. I will insert that in the description box. I think her name is Jean, I may be forgetting it, but she has a book with a yellow cover. But this book is called You Are a Badass at Making Money. It's also by her and has a very bright neon green cover. And this book specifically focuses on reframing your mindset about your false beliefs regarding money, because a lot of people are not able to reach wealth or their full potential financially because they hold false beliefs regarding money and how to approach money with a scarcity approach rather than an abundance mindset. And I'm summarizing it very much, so there's a whole bunch more, and I'll probably do a book review on that. That's something I want to change about myself, because I'm on my way to bettering myself, and I want to become wealthy, and I want to create a legacy and be smart about money. And I realize that I have some subconscious beliefs that are not serving me in that way, and so I'm becoming aware and I'm retraining myself. But back to my example, the false belief that I overcame is a false belief that I once held regarding running. So I was pretty sporty most of my life. I played soccer in high school. I was on the swim team in high school. And in college, I gained a lot of weight. I weighed 200 pounds. And then I lost it, and then the second time in my life I gained a lot of weight when I was in a relationship, because I think I got so comfortable, and I once again was hitting that 200-pound mark. I was already on my way to losing weight. I was about a year into weight loss, and I was really into the Stairmaster. That was my go-to. But when COVID happened, all the gyms closed down, so I freaked out because I didn't know how I would stay in shape. And so I decided to pick up running, because I could do running anywhere. I need is a pair of sneakers. Running is something that I've tried before in life. However, I didn't feel that it was for me, because I gave it a few tries in life. And even when I played soccer in high school, I got really bad shin splints, so that really discouraged me. In high school, I played the position of defense and goalie on my soccer team, so I really wasn't running all that much. But now, when that time came, and this was summer, fall of 2019, that I decided to pick up running as a way to stay in shape, I got the shin splints, and I truly had the false belief that I could just never be a runner. Those few runs that I did, I ran for 2 minutes and I started wheezing. I couldn't believe it. I felt so out of breath. I had the worst shin splints, and those things for me just reassured me. They reassured that false limiting belief that I am just not a runner, that I'm somehow built to not be a runner, that physiologically I am just not the runner type of person. And there's something weirdly comforting about reaffirming your false belief, because you just think, okay, yeah, I'm just not meant to be a runner, or insert whatever false belief you have. Because the gyms were closed, I couldn't do anything. I didn't give up. And so not giving up and reframing my mind is what helped me overcome that false belief. I started questioning, why do I think this way? Is it something with me specifically? Why could I not be a runner? Running is not something you can just get into instantly like that. I wouldn't be a runner if it wasn't for the app C to 5K, which for a long time I called couch potato to 5K, but it's just couch to 5K. There's no potato, but I'm a potato. Marto potato, that's an inside joke. But couch to 5K and the slow increments that the app guides you through is the way that I was able to slowly walk, run, and every week you're doing more and more. And eventually, you know, I was running, say, a mile without a problem, nonstop, where the first few runs, yeah, I ran 2 minutes and I was wheezing. I had one run that I thought I was gonna cry because the shin splints were just awful and I just really wasn't feeling it. And now we're in the year 2012. My personal record is 9 miles. I plan to do a half marathon next year, and I run anywhere from 4.5 to 6.5 miles every other day or so. And now it's part of my identity. I felt for such a long time that I couldn't say I'm a runner, but I can say I'm a runner, and this is a big part of who I am now. And it's also a huge part of my mental health. It's a huge part of just me feeling good about myself. And while it took some time, I overcame that limiting false belief about myself. If I can do that, anybody can do that. So I encourage you to examine that. So to further understand limiting false beliefs, we have to also look at where these beliefs stem from. And a lot of them come from childhood trauma, and that is something that we all deal with, some to a deeper extent than others. Nobody's childhood is perfect, and we all have some sort of trauma that often is subconscious that can lead to us having these limiting beliefs. You may have heard of attachment styles. I would really recommend figuring out what attachment style you were. I think it could really help you dive deeper and perhaps resolve a false belief that you have about yourself, a limiting belief. Childhood is a beautiful time, and of course, there are people with wonderful childhoods, but no one's perfect, and in that sense also no parent is perfect. And while we all may have our childhood trauma, bigger in some, smaller than others, you know, we're not responsible for that. But as adults, I believe we are 100% responsible for addressing those traumas so that we may live our best life, so that we may love others fully. It's impossible to be in a loving romantic relationship if you don't love yourself first, and it's really hard to give in the partnership as well if you haven't dealt with some of the trauma you may have. There's something that I call self-parenting, self-therapy, where you really take the time to become aware and think about these things that may be triggering some false beliefs, some behavioral issues that maybe you're not happy with. And it's gonna take some time, but if you write out your thoughts, I really recommend journaling, meditating. With time, it will get easier, and you are able to absolutely reparent and reframe yourself. And you know, I'm not saying that you can completely fix yourself. I also don't believe we're all broken completely. We all have, you know, our little quirks and things we're all working on, and you know, therapy is also a great option. I really recommend therapy. It's just that it's a little expensive, so sometimes we have to lean on our friends or just look within ourselves. I really recommend the Headspace app. The Headspace app has helped me tremendously to focus, to get centered, to feel more gratitude in my life, and it really balances me. So of course you can go to Google and Google how to overcome false limiting beliefs, but here are some tips that help me and things that I've seen in my friends that I would like to share with you. I think it's really important to be more mindful and aware of your own thoughts. In psychology, thinking about thinking is what we call metacognition. So stepping back and thinking about the thoughts you're having and slowing down and thinking, oh yeah, I'm thinking this, but then also delving deeper and asking yourself, why am I thinking this? And what is this teaching me? And just really becoming more introspective with your own thoughts. And also another thing is when you realize that you have limiting beliefs, it's important to acknowledge the feeling and acknowledge the feelings, those feelings that are leading you there. Maybe some of them are not good feelings, but allowing yourself to feel feelings, but then not dwelling on them. Write it out, feel it out, but don't dwell on it. And if you have to write it on a note and then burn it, let it go, that's also going to be very therapeutic. And with self-beliefs, what I think is really crucial is to watch your language and watch the way you speak to yourself. Because when you keep saying statements like, I'm just not a runner, I'm a bad person, I can't do this, I'm not a morning person, you see, you're making these statements already announcing to the universe and yourself that this is just the way you are. So it's really important to take the time and express yourself differently. Say, I am a morning person. I am a runner. I am capable. It's really, really simple sounding, but when you reframe and relabel the way you talk about yourself, the way you feel about yourself, over time, that's really gonna seep into your subconscious. And people may think it's silly, but even leave yourself little sticky notes. And the more you say it, the more you express it, the more you're gonna believe it. There's really something about the statement of fake it till you make it, because it's not faking it. You're living it, you're saying it more, and then that becomes your truth. To summarize, I want you guys to know that limiting beliefs are mostly subconscious, so it can be hard to really pinpoint exactly what they are or what caused them. But if you take the time to do a deep dive into your soul and ask yourself the things that aren't going right, ask yourself about the things that you've wanted to do or achieve, or some kind of way of being that you'd like to be, but you're not there yet. Try to see if maybe there's a false limiting belief that's holding you back. And the more awareness you create, I think the more that's going to guide you. And I also think it's okay to ask your friends and family maybe about things like that. To summarize, I want you guys to know that false beliefs are something that many of us struggle with. No one's perfect. We all have our, problems and things we deal with. But when you take the time to be your best and think about the ways that your life could be, so KoalaSubbies, I feel like I have only overcome one big false belief in my life so far, and that's labeling myself not a runner. Like I said earlier, I want to focus on my limiting beliefs when it comes to money, because I realize that I do have some false beliefs that I'm holding on to, and more I realize that they're subconscious things. So the book is really helping me. And I'm absolutely not perfect, but I feel that I have grown more in the last year and a half or two than I have in the previous 7 or so. And it's because I'm really taking the time to focus on that glow up, as they call it, focusing on bettering myself. And I just want to share that message because I think we all have gifts to share with the world, and I'm still honing in on what those gifts are. But for me, psychology, empowerment, bettering yourself, all these sorts of things are really crucial. And I thrive when my friends and loved ones have that positivity and they radiate with wonderful stories of overcoming. And I feel also great when I inspire others. So I just want to be a light in the world. I want Marta Mondays to be a place where we can all come, talk about maybe not always the most comfortable scenarios or life topics, but it's going to be something that we all deal with. This is life. So I just want you to know, any false beliefs you have, you can absolutely overcome it. It just takes time and awareness, and you know, we're all in this together. Like my dad says, we're in this university of life. So you know, it's all a lesson, and don't forget to enjoy the moment and be here now, because that's the only reality that we have, is the present moment and just enjoying. You know, life is meant to be enjoyed, and while it's good to analyze and, you know, fix yourselves, also don't be too harsh on yourself. Enjoy the moment, enjoy life, and enjoy the University of Life. And I'll see you on the next Marta Mondays, and I hopefully will get less awkward in front of the camera. Thank you. I love you guys. Dziękuję bardzo. Bye guys.